What's up guys, John here, Blue Carbon Reefing. We got a delivery from UPS. Let's find out what it is. So we got a Skims, I believe it's the CM202. She's a big boy. So while I was filling up the calcium reactor to clean it up with a water vinegar mixture, I got the pump hooked up, turned the pump on to kind of start circulating the water and vinegar through the pump, through the reactor to just kind of help clean it up. Also to test the pump. Actually had a hard time starting the pump at first. I took it apart. I kind of messed with the magnet to spin it around to make sure it was actually working, and it wasn't seized up or anything. So hooked everything back up, turned it back on. I did get the pump to work, however it was super loud, so again I took it apart and actually got the magnet pulled out, and as you can see the pictures here, the propeller and the magnet was actually cracked. So reached out to Jeff right away. This is where I really just want to give Jeff some huge props, because he actually bought me a brand new pump for this. So I didn't have to do that. Really, at the end of the day, I think maybe just the impeller itself would have fixed the problem. But he's a stand-up guy. He really wanted to make sure that if I bought something from him, it was in working order. So Jeff, thank you very much. I definitely wanted to give you some props for that. So once I got the new pump, which only took a couple of days, again, got everything hooked back up. There will be a future video of the calcium reactor. I'm actually going to use this to upgrade my nitrate reactor. So my nitrate reactor has started working. You're going to see this here in just a second, but I'm actually going to be giving it an upgrade. That way I can hold a lot more media and hopefully reduce the nitrates quite a bit more over the next few months. I don't expect to go from 80 to 0 in a matter of weeks, but maybe 2-3 months down the road, of course, my nitrates should start coming down. So once again, Jeff, thank you very much for the calcium reactor, and thank you very much for doing what you did and buying that new pump. I really appreciate it very much. So, on to the nitrate reactor. If you've watched my last few videos, I obviously had hooked up with kind of a DIY version of a sulfur denitrator. It has been 6 weeks since I had set that up, and I finally here tested the effluent, and we are coming out at 0 nitrate. So the flow through on it is extremely slow. We're talking one drop maybe every 10 to 20 seconds. So obviously we're going to be speeding that up. That's another reason why I wanted to upgrade the reactor. Now, as you will see here, the second test is actually just the tank water. So the first one was the effluent coming out at 0, and we're still at 80 parts per million on the tank water. Now, I was out of town for a few days, kind of a family vacation type of thing. When I came back, this is what I had found. Again, my MP40s had fallen, and these are the ones that are only at a maximum of 50%. So I am done. I am throwing my hands up in the air with MP40s and a 3/4 inch tank. I'm sure they're going to be fine on smaller size tanks. I'm actually going to reuse these two MP40s downstairs. One I'm going to add to the frag tank, and trying to figure out what to do with the third one. But I'm going to give you an update on that later. Here's my little Rico pieces. Come on, camera. And this red acro and this digitata, which Turning the blues on looks a little better, but can't really. Oh, and the main Rico piece, this massive, absolutely massive Hollywood stunner. Let's see if we can turn the blues on, maybe it'll look a little better. It's underneath the frag rack for right now until I figure out what to do with it, but everything looks good. The camera is not picking up this digitata, but there's nice red polyp extension. I believe this one is called a forest fire digitata. Let's see if we can get some. See, you can see the polyp extension there on the top down. So looks good. It's actually growing another branch. So honestly, very happy with the Rico corals. So next up, I of course was done with the MP40s. I will no longer be recommending those for a 3/4 inch tank, even though that's what Ecotech says. I was not very happy with the response that they had given me beforehand on why they were actually falling off the side of the tank. They originally wanted me to do a firmware update, and obviously that didn't solve the problem. I even turned down the pumps to a maximum of 50%, and we're still falling off. So again, I'll reuse those pumps somewhere else, but I'm not going to be using them on the main tank. So right here, I just wanted to kind of show you 4 or 5 days of basically no flow coming from the right side of the tank. I've been building over time some dead spots on the right side of the tank, on the sand bed mainly between some corals. There's not a whole lot of flow going through there, so I really wanted to show you that, because once I add the second gyro, you will see that those dead spots will be gone. So on to adding the Gyre XF280. I've actually picked up this pump a couple months back, actually around Father's Day. It was on sale and I couldn't pass it up. I knew I wanted to get a second one after having the first one and using that for a few months now. And when I had gone out of town and come back for a few days, and saw the MP40s on the sand, it really made my decision for me to just go ahead and add it right now. I was waiting. I had ordered a kind of an extension cord to it. Since this is an 8-foot long tank, I'm not able to plug in both cords to the controller on the one side of the tank unless I put the controller right in the middle of the tank, and I didn't want to do that, so I did buy the extension, which actually was only 7 feet long, but it was definitely long enough to do the trick to get to the other side and plug into the controller. So just wanted to make it look clean. So fast forward a few days, I've actually been running both gyro pumps for 3 or 4 days now. I just kind of wanted to show you the improvement right away that I've noticed on some of the rocks and as well as the sand bed. So most of the rocks actually are getting a lot cleaner as far as any residual kind of algae sitting on it, as well as the main kind of dead spots that I had before have definitely improved. As you can see, this plate coral, the clam, and the pagoda coral, there was really a lot of algae building up there. And then in the right hand corner of the tank, there was a dead spot as well. There's really one coral that's not doing well. Everything else is really looking great, and that's this chalice right here. It's actually kind of whiting out. It's a little bit worse over the last few days, so I am going to move this probably to a lower spot and a little bit less flow and see how it does. I'm hoping that one obviously will come back. I doubt it's getting too much light, but maybe it's just not liking the flow. So we'll figure this one out, of course. Everything else is doing really great. This red monopora is actually encrusting on the rock. The coral right below it is actually a setosa. I actually broke that off from the big colony I have here on the left. That is actually lightening a little bit. Again, it's another one that I'm probably going to try to help figure out. I'm not sure if it's due to the nitrates. This monopora is actually rebounding tremendously. Most of the time you probably haven't even noticed it was there because it was really purplish on the rocks itself, and now it's really starting to get its pink coloration back. I'm starting to see the blue polyps kind of extended again, and you can see on both sides we're getting some massive growth. We're going to figure out what to do with these star polyps. I'm actually pretty good at peeling them back off the rocks and kind of bringing things and putting it downstairs and fragging it up. One concern I had obviously was this Duncan coral. So I think this Duncan coral now with the added flow is getting a little bit too much flow. Probably going to try to move that one around a little bit. Still doing all the polyp extensions, so maybe it's not too happy, but you know, we'll see as the time goes on if I see any heads start to retract or anything like that. Obviously, that would mean to me that it's getting too much flow. Other than that, everything's looking great. So that pretty much sums it up, guys. As you can see, everything's going good. Again, thank you, Jeff from Daily Reefing, for the calcium reactor. We're going to use it first as a nitrate or sulfur reactor to get these nitrates down, and we'll give you a video next week of what that looks like. So if this is your first time here, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Definitely we'll have lots more content coming out. I really truly try to do a video every single week, although this last week it did prevent me a few extra days of coming out with a video, so I do apologize for that. However, thank you guys so much for stopping by. We'll see you on the next one, and happy reefing.